How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about Anything for Jackson. This is from 2020, and the physical media version that I have out here actually just came out a little bit ago in 2021. This is from Shudder. It's a Shudder original. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with Shudder, Shudder is a horror-focused streaming service that, in addition to all the other stuff that you can stream there, they're starting to put out originals and exclusives, which is pretty dang cool. Most famous is the Creepshow TV show that came out recently. Lots of cool stuff on there, but in addition to all that, they're actually willing, unlike a lot of other streaming services, to put out physical media copies for us physical media heads, and I think they're just out of frame for you guys, but I have a whole shelf of them up here, and I always buy these when I see them. They're really fun. And I was really excited for this one. It looked pretty good. Let's take a look at this. Anything for Jackson from 2020, directed by Justin G. Dyck, and stars Sheila McCarthy, Julian, Richings, and Konstantina Mantelos. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing any of those names. And this is a pretty fun ghost story. I really did like this, and I think first let's go ahead and talk a bit about the plot. Now, I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points, and I do want to make sure you guys have in general, a basic understanding as to what this movie's about. So, let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? We open it up with an older woman and an older man, an old married couple, and they're having a casual conversation in their house when someone rings their doorbell, and they go, "Oh, she's here." And they walk to their front door. There's a pregnant lady there, and they kidnap her and drag her up into this elevator. A really cool, unexpected opening scene there. You get to the room at the top of the elevator, and you find it's a young boy's room with lots of toys and stuff scattered about, and she is chained to the bed in this room, and she's wanting to get let go, and they actually do this really funny bit where the old lady's reading a letter, and it's a really apologetic but stern letter, like, "We will not harm you, we have to keep you in this situation for so long, we hope you understand." It's like, just because you said it nice doesn't mean I'm gonna go along with this. But anyway, she eventually finds out that this old couple had lost their grandson, and she's pregnant, and their idea was they found this magic spell book. What they're going to do is they're going to transfer the soul of the grandson into the unborn baby to make their grandson live again, because after all, anything for Jackson, right? Jackson, the grandson, and they just want their grandson back. So even though these people are evil, the antagonist, they have a clear goal, and you understand where they're coming from, so it's a little different there. And she's stuck in this captivity thriller type thing, as you might expect. But the surprising thing about this movie, the thing you wouldn't necessarily think, is she's there in the captivity thriller section, but she's not really the main focus of this movie. The movie actually keeps following the older couple around. So this is one of those kind of unique movies where you're actually following the villain and seeing what they're up to. And you get a few other things. You get like a humorous moment where they're, witches, and they're meeting with their cult in the community center, so kind of very suburban witches. And you get him, he's a doctor, and that's how he actually found out about the girl in the situation, is he was her doctor, and that's why he's able to lure her over. But of course, because they knew each other, he's a person of interest, and you get the sort of cop subplot, so you get part of this is the captivity thriller, part of this is, one of those how do I avoid the police type movies, kind of a Hitchcockian thriller there. But then you have this other segment. You see, they have decided to do the ritual, but it's hard to say, like, did they do it right? How do you even know it's such a thing? Well, maybe they did something wrong, because after they start the ritual, their house is super haunted with all these great and creative ghosts. So we have 3 spinning plates there. The lady who's trying to get out, the police who are trying to figure out where the lady is, and then all the ghosts thrown in. And that is really one of this movie's biggest strengths, is it has these 3 genres spinning together. Now, for those of you who are big fans of escape the police, avoid the police type movies, and for those of you who are big fans of captivity thrillers, those are in here. But this is primarily a ghost movie, and I do want to say that going in. For those of you who expect something like Gerald's Game, this is much more The Conjuring. So there is that element in there, but this really is more ghost story, and that is, this part of the story is definitely one of the movie's biggest strengths. The Conjuring, Insidious, the wand stuff, they really redefine ghost, and you get cool creatures like the Nun and the Crooked Man, ghost with a really cool design, and you see that influence in this movie. You can see that they were, kind of taking notes from this. There are lots of really cool ghosts. There's a ghost that's ironically dressed up like a ghost for Halloween. There's a man who has been killed by a plastic bag over his head. He was suffocated by someone. So there's an element of story there, You kind of wonder, what's this ghost story? And you can see a little bit of it in how he died, and he's a really creepy contortionist ghost. But there are a few other ones, and a few ghosts are people that actually died during the movie, and it's always cool to see someone who is alive, and then they die and they become a creepy ghost. It makes that ghost have so much more weight in it. And there is tons of ghosts running around this movie, and it's really, really cool. Yet at the same time, it doesn't feel, cheap and goofy, like, haha, ghost everywhere. It really, all the ghosts really feel really creepy, and that is really, really cool. And plus, this movie has really good cinematography. It's lit super well, and the colors are all nice, and they really get the ghost scares coming across very well. I really did like that. And another thing, too, is this movie, there's a bit of humor. It's, again, not over the top and cheesy, but things like the witches meeting in the community center, and the fact that it's a nice, sweet old couple who's actually, the villains of the movie is really, really interesting. So there's a lot of, the weird, ironic side in this movie, and I did really like your 2 main characters. It's kind of hard when you're having, the evil characters be the point of view characters. A lot of times you're like, oh, they're the bad guy, I can't root for them. But they're trying to do something that you understand. Everybody, if someone they love dies, they miss them. So you understand, hey, of course they want to bring their grandson back. This is not the way you should go about things. And you see everything start to tumble, and that's really an interesting thing too. You see the old man, he can be kind of gruff, and I'm like, okay, they're going to make him be scary, and they can do that a few times, especially when it's from the woman in the bed's perspective, the pregnant woman. But he's not scary all the time, and in fact, lots of times you see him be scared himself, and as things start to spiral out of control, and they realize maybe we don't know as much magic as we thought, you see these couple, the magic, the police coming in, she's almost escaping a few times. You see everything start to whirl and swirl and become this big mess, and it really does build to a fun climax in this movie. Overall, this is a pretty cool movie. I definitely recommend it. It looks good. It's got an interesting story told from an interesting point of view. The captivity thriller and the avoid the police movie thrown into a ghost story for a nice mix of genres. And plus, the ghosts just look freaking cool. So overall, there's a lot to like with this movie, Not the best thing ever, but pretty cool, I really did like this movie. I picked it up, and I really enjoyed it. If you are Conjuring fans, and if you like that sort of movie, I definitely say this is kind of the crowd that we're looking for, when you think who to recommend this movie to. If you like a lot of the modern ghost stuff, and if you like cool ghost designs, definitely Conjuring fans, check this out. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You're really helping the channel out. I'll put a relevant playlist at the bottom. I think that will be my Shudder movies playlist. If you want to see more of me talking about Shudder movies, I'll have that at the bottom there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.